Sports Radio, MLB closing time show for Friday, August the 13th. Friday the 13th. Hopefully that's not a bad sign, or there's not going to be evil sorcerers or evil spells, putting bad hexes on our baseball bets tonight. Hopefully that is not the case because it's Friday the 13th. Yeah. Hopefully it can still treat us as well, to be honest, as it's treated us the last couple of weeks. It's been a really good run for Conor and I in baseball the last couple of weeks. Conor Mack, of course, as always, with me here on the MLB closing time show. Before we get into this Friday card, I did want to at least mention this for a couple of minutes before we get into the card. The Field of Dreams game last night was just sensational. I can't say enough about it. I was fully into that from start to finish. Just everything about it, the scenery, having Kevin Costner there and do the intro, the video intro.
I know. Oh, wait, real quick, Ian. Let me cut you real fast. How long, though, and soaked was that intro? Talking about it. I mean, he took his time slowly through there, but it was done very well. Keep going. Sorry. It just was. I thought it was but it was a great game. Carry on. Sorry.
You know what I think it was? I don't know if it was he wanted to take his time more than he was probably in his ear that the White Sox and the Yankees players hadn't shown up in their spots just yet. So he's stalling for time and just spinning around and looking around and walking around the field there, waiting for Aaron Judge and Tim Anderson and DJ LeMahieu and Eloy Jimenez and all those guys to walk through the cornfields and walk through the crops and actually get onto the field. I think that's what the delay was. I'm just guessing here, but you're right. It seemed like forever and ever and ever. He was just looking around like, is something going to happen here or what? Is he going to say something? Is he going to do something? Like, what's he waiting for? I think he was just waiting for the players on both teams to finally make their grand entrance through the cornfield like they did, which was an awesome touch. I mean, it's just like hearkening back to the movie, Field of Dreams in 1989. So it was awesome. The intro was so well done. It was just beautiful on television to see, when they panned the camera back from behind home plate, and you could see the field and you could see all the cornfields and the blue sky and the sun setting behind it and just, the farmlands, so to speak, right in the Midwest United States and Iowa, the heartland of the country. It was just a gorgeous scene. And then, of course, the baseball game was bonkers. It was an exciting game, back and forth. Both teams blow leads, and the White Sox walk it off. I mean, that game had everything. It was a spectacular night for baseball. They haven't had many lately, but last night was that.
Yeah, that walk-off, fireworks go right off, whole thing, win the game. So, yeah, we all hit the Jack of the Day for the game, Jose, me, and you. So, yeah, White Sox team total hit, or a first five. So, definitely was a good game. And, yeah, MLB finally did something right. It's, but I thought that was well done. Hopefully they'll have more games there. Shit, they got the field.
Yeah, no, they had a lot of bad press, baseball, with the Houston Astros cheating scandal, with the bad contentious disagreements between the MLBPA and Major League Baseball with getting the baseball season started last year during the early days of the pandemic. That left people salty and upset that it took so long for them to finally get that. I mean, it's been a bad run of public relations disasters for Major League Baseball. And finally, they had a good night in that department last night with putting on that incredible display at the Field of Dreams. So they needed it. All right. So we just, all right. I'm just checking here. I think we're ready. Let's get to the Friday card. That was a great game, by the way. We're happy. That was the nice thing, Conor, about me having the White Sox team total and us having the home run props. You could cash some of them, cash the team total, and really not have to sweat and worry too much about who is actually going to win that game. So it was the benefit, again, of betting the team total instead.
Yep, I agree. I was with it.
Yep. You always like those games, too. When you stay out of this, because I would have been going like bonk. If I was on the White Sox money line or run line in that game, I would have been to be tied watching everything that went on, watching Liam Hendricks blow that game. As I said on Twitter, it was a field of nightmares for him last night. No dreams for him with the way he pitched in that ninth inning. But you could say the same about Britton, who, of course, gave up the walk-off home run. But amazing night, great game, great experience overall, and a good night for baseball. Hopefully it's a good night for baseball for our pockets tonight on the betting board. Let's go to Friday's card. We'll start with Atlanta and Washington. We got Charlie, Old Man Morton here. Josiah Gray for Washington. The Braves minus 170, road favorites, 9 the total in this game. Josiah Gray, we know there's upside, right? We know there's talent. We know there's a high ceiling for this kid. And I think he started to realize it in his last start where he faced this very same Atlanta Braves team. 1 run, 4 hits, 5 innings, struck out 10 in that game. So he really shut down this Atlanta Braves team for the Washington Nationals, and give him credit. It was a great outing for him. Remember, he had been roughed up just a little bit prior to that, Josiah Gray, but you got to like the way he pitched in that last start for the Nationals. We'll see how he fares tonight. Charlie Morton for Atlanta, continues to be just pretty good. I mean, it's been a good year for him, 3.52 overall. He faced Washington that very same game, same 2 pitchers going head-to-head, Morton and Gray, August 7th, just 6 days ago in Atlanta, and it was a 3-2 win for Washington, although Morton was a tough luck loser in that game. 6 innings with a shutout against this Washington team. And now these 2 pitchers, it's the very same matchup, Gray versus Morton, just 6 days later. This is usually when I like to think the offenses and the lineups are going to do a little bit better, make their adjustments, have a little bit better approach here going into this game. You look at the way these 2 teams have been going from an offensive standpoint. Atlanta's been mashing the ball pretty good lately. They've scored 6, 7, 8, 8, 2, 5, 3, 8, 3. So they've scored a bunch of runs in the majority of their games. And on the flip side, you got the Nationals. Nationals have still been able to score. Last 10 games, even though they're only 1-9, like they have been winning, but 5, 4, 5, 6, 4, 3, 4, 7, 1, 4. They're averaging in their last 10 games, Washington, 4.5 runs per game, this Washington team. So, and you look at the Braves, and they're averaging 5.1 runs per game in their last 10 games. And you see these 2 lineups facing these pitchers 6 days later for the second time. I'm tempted by the over in this game, bottom line. That's what I'm considering here in this game, Atlanta, Washington, over the total. Connor, Mac, what do you think here, Atlanta, Washington?
Yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. We appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to Robert Cherry. Here's his Pamper Pop play of the day. Phillies first 5, 5-2. All right, George Springer, Jack of the Day, and Nelson Cruz. All right, get it, Robert Cherry, my guy. Yeah, everyone hit the like button too while you're here. Hit it right away. You don't got to do it later. I think this one's interesting. Josiah Gray pitched well that last start, went 5 innings, and the start before that he got away with it in Philly, but he walks guys. So I'm interested here that he could get touched. But Morton's pitched really well, and he pitched well just what it was it 5 days ago. But I see runs. This was difficult for me as I couldn't take a first 5 under for sure. I leaned over. The Braves team total though is 5.5. It's a little high. It is plus 105. I can't take the Braves, not on the road here, minus 170. I kind of like the Nats team total at 3.5, minus 115. But Morton's been pretty good. I'm just making they can get to him and then maybe get to the Braves bullpen. But a difficult one. I couldn't take Morton. The Nats, maybe first 5. I just don't know if I trust Gray at this young career to maybe get it done against a team. He just pitched well, 10 Ks, 5 innings, 1 earned run, if he can do it again 5 days later. So I like the over a little bit, but the Nats team total I was looking at 3.5.
Yeah, the Atlanta bullpen has been a little bit shaky. They've blown some games a couple of times. Remember, they beat the Reds earlier this week, but that 6-5 game, but they blew like a 5-1 lead, and the Reds tied it. They had to rescue themselves, Atlanta, in extra innings. So Alex Johnson's right in saying Braves bullpen hasn't been as sharp lately. So I think we can get over this total. I expect these, again, 2 lineups that are facing the same pitcher for the 2 consecutive game starts for these pitchers against the same team. So I think that's usually a good news for the lineup to make those adjustments and be a little bit better in terms of the plate approach. Next up, Cincinnati, Philadelphia. Tyler Mahle, Zach Wheeler. Wheeler in the sky keeps on turning. Almost forgot to do that. Wheeler, minus 160, home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. Yeah, Rodney Barton, there we go, 6-0 to the over for Washington, their last 6 home games. So there's just a little more fuel to the fire for liking that game over the total.
Maybe live too.
Goes, yeah,
with the bullpens.
Exactly right.
Good one. Yeah,
100%. These bullpens, not especially Washington's, it's not really all that good lately either. These 2 pitchers have been good for the most part this year for these 2 teams. Tyler Mahle has just been going about his business, pretty consistent. A couple of starts here and there. He got roughed up specifically by the Brewers and by the Twins. But other than that, He's given up 2 runs or less the majority of his recent starts. He has a great 2.06 ERA on the road this year. And he fared pretty, and he hasn't faced the Phillies this year. Wheeler on the mound for the Phillies. We know he's overall been great this year, 2.42 on the year, 2.02 ERA at home, just terrific home numbers. Dominated the Mets in his last start, a complete game shutout, and allowed just 2 hits with 11 strikeouts in a 3-0 win over the Mets. Maybe you get a first 5 under here. I'm not going to be involved in this game. It's going to be a pass here. Philly, I like Wheeler at home, but I don't like this price. It's a big game for both of these teams. Philly fighting for first in the NL East. Cincinnati trying to stay with San Diego for chasing down that second wild card in the National League. So it's a very, very important game. All these games are important for both of these teams right now. So nothing on the side. I'll just lean slightly to the first 5 under here. Connor, what do you think with the Reds Phillies?
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's what I was looking at, the first 5 under here. I just at 4 at even money, I just don't love it. I wanted 4.5 in this one. Wheeler's been great at home. You could bank on him all year long. And Melee, this is where I've wanted him. He's on the road, not at home. You talked about his ERA on the road has been a lot better. As much as I love Wheeler, I can't take the Phillies at this price. I think the Reds, man, they scored a ton of runs yesterday. The game before that, they gave me a push. I took them first 5. But if I were to bet anything, I'd be on Melee and the dog, the Reds. I think they're the value here. First 5 at plus 140. And I lean for the first 5 under. I need the 4 in the hook. I don't have it. Maybe I could find it at a book, search around for maybe a minus 120, 25. But I see 4s most places at even money. So I just lean that way under first 5.
All right, good stuff. Hit the like button. 114 live viewers. Hit that like button for us. We appreciate it. And Jedi for Life, $10 donation. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying the show. We appreciate the support without a doubt. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. We've got Brett Anderson, the old veteran cagey lefty for the Brewers. And we have Mitch Keller on the mound here for the Pirates. We've got Milwaukee minus 220. Road favorites at PNC. The total is 9 in this game. Brett Anderson is, I'll tell you what, right now, he's on a tremendous run. And I didn't know I saw this coming, but it has been pretty damn special what he's been able to do. I mean, he's had a couple of stints where he's been in and out of the rotation. He's missed a few starts here and there. But since July 7th, and he's been really back in this rotation full time since July 7th, 0, 2, 0, 1, 1 in terms of runs allowed. In those starts, 4 runs total allowed by Brett Anderson over his last 20. Wow, we're talking his last 26.2 innings. He's allowed 4 runs. So he's been excellent for the Milwaukee Brewers. And believe it or not, he faced the Brewers twice this season already, or faced the Pirates twice this season already, Brett Anderson. 1 run, 6 hits in 7 innings in April, 6 innings of shutout ball, and 3 hits in July when he faced them. And the combined score of those 2 games was 16-1 for Milwaukee in those 2 games started by Brett Anderson over the Pirates. So he's completely dominated and shut down the Pirates this year. And this Milwaukee team, I mean, what they are doing right now is they are showing everybody that if they get some offense going, and they get this collective group of Colton Wong and Yelich and Omar Narvaez and Luis Urias and Jace Peterson, Lorenzo Cain, guys like this to step up and hammer the ball like they're hammering it right now. They're pretty dangerous because they've got some good pitching going, and they just clubbed the Cubs, the last 4 games at Wrigley. They won all 4 games. They covered the run line as well. If you took the Brewers on the run line. Mitch Keller's hideous, all right? There's nothing else to say. He's been absolutely brutal. 8.29 ERA at home. His last 3 starts, 4 runs, 5 hits to the Dodgers in just 2 innings. 4 runs, 8 hits, 5 innings to the Phillies in 5 innings. 4 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings to the Reds in 5 innings. He's actually gone over the total. 4 straight starts of Keller's have gone over. I lean to there's a lot of things I kind of like here. I like the over full game. I like Milwaukee run line. I think Milwaukee run line is a good way to go here. -1.5, -125. You look at the bullpen's starting to get a little healthier for the Brewers. That's the good news. And you look at the Milwaukee team against Pittsburgh. Head-to-head, Connor, they're 5-1 in the last 6 games head-to-head against Pittsburgh, and all 5 of the wins for the Brewers against the Pirates were 2 runs or more. So they won every game against Pittsburgh by margin, which means if you bet run line -1.5 on Milwaukee in all 5 of their wins against Pittsburgh, you won. So when they've beat Pittsburgh, they've not just beaten them. They've won by margin. They've won by multiple runs. So I like the Brewers here, run line, -1.5, -130. Connor, what do you think?
I don't blame you. When they've beaten them, they've covered. But I remember 10 days ago, they were up, and that bullpen, they gave it up. Pirates came back and beat them. And I was on it. I think it was 5-1. They ended up losing it. But I'd be back with the Brewers. First 5, if you're worried about the bullpen, it's like -140. Full game, -125. I kind of like, if you think they're going to do that, Keller, I mean, this guy gives up 4 runs every time he takes the mound, it seems like. I mean, he hasn't had a good start. Colorado, May 29th was his last good start. I can't trust him, and he's not a Pirates pitcher I like to back. The game, to me, so if you like it, I'd go Brewers maybe team total over 5.5, -110. They've been scoring a ton of runs against the Cubs the last few days. We'll see if they could get 6 again. Maybe this game's a little sleepy early. You know, a lot of unders there at PNC Park. The first 5 under is 5. I think Anderson will be good. It's just Keller, can he hang around? So I lean that way. And any way you want to bet the Brewers, the team total I like, or run line here, -125.
I don't know if I like Mitch Keller's attitude. Like, he's got to know he's had a bad year. He's got a 7 ERA. He's given up like 4 runs or more in the majority of his starts. He's got to understand that, right? He's not a moron. He's not an idiot. He knows what's going on. He knows he hasn't had a very good year. That's why this quote from Keller, I can't explain it. You know, after that last start against Cincinnati, gave up 4 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings. Okay, it wasn't a disaster, but it was still not a very good start. His pitch count went up. He said, quote, "I felt great out there. Same as last time. I felt really confident, really good about what I was doing. Just a few of those pitches didn't go my way." Well, a few of those pitches haven't gone your way in essentially every single freaking start you've made this year, bud. Like, you're playing yourself. Like, come on, give yourself some criticism. Be willing to criticize yourself and critique your game and realize, hey, I got to be better. You think that's good? Just a few, oh, that was fine. I felt good out there. I was confident. Just a few pitches here and there didn't go my way. Okay, well, if just a few pitches didn't go your way, what's the explanation for 5 runs in a start in May against the Brewers, or 7 runs on May 10th against the Reds, or 5 runs in 5 innings against the Braves on May 22nd? Or how about 6 runs in 2 innings against the Marlins on June 4th? Or how about 4 runs, 5 hits in 2 innings against the Dodgers on June 10th? Just a few pitches didn't go your way there too? Is that what you're selling yourself? I mean, my gosh. Come on, criticize yourself. When I go 1-6 in the betting board, I don't say, you know what, just a few games didn't go my way. No, I sucked that night. I got to be better picking games. I got to make better bets. You got to make better pitches. You know, that simple as that. When you're this bad for this long, when you have a 7 ERA coming into this start, that's your ERA for the year. I don't want to hear a few pitches didn't go my way. You've got a shitload of pitches then that haven't gone your way this year, my friend. It's not just a few, if that's what you believe. Holy goodness, take some freaking responsibility for sucking and being just not good enough. It's simple. And you look, I'm one of those guys, Connor, that earlier in my days, it was difficult for me to admit to people, like, I just got my ass kicked today betting football or baseball or whatever the sport. I'm okay saying it now because it's going to happen. Hey, it happens to everybody. Yeah. You just admit it, and people respect you more for being honest. I don't respect that at all from Mitch Keller, him saying that garbage. A few pitches didn't go your way. It's basically now we're up to like 100 pitches that haven't gone your way this year with the freaking stats you have.
Yeah, it sounds like the losers that are the Pirates and him, you know, the whole organization, bunch of bums.
Yeah. So that he's just got to own up to it more than he did there in that quote. Disappointing for Mitch Keller, but his whole season's been disappointing. So it's par for the course. On we go. Baltimore Orioles and Boston Red Sox, Spencer Watkins and Nick Pivetta on the mound here. We got Boston minus 240, home favorites here, a 10.5 the total, shaded to the over in this one. Watkins has kind of went backward. We kind of figured he would. Hasn't been quite as good as he was early on. The Boston Red Sox, well, they thought things were hunky-dory, everything great again. We won the other night. We destroyed the Rays and lasted one game, and the Rays got them back and beat them last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, in the final game of that series. Pavetta's been really good, but look, and Pavetta's been actually one of their best pitchers lately. He has been quite good. He hasn't been necessarily as good at Fenway. That's number one. And number two, it's minus 250. And I know he's been pitching better lately, my fellow Canadian, but I'm not laying that price at all with Boston and Nick Pivetta. But I wouldn't want to take Watkins. I could probably make a case for maybe a Red Sox team total, but it's 6.5, man. They just didn't do you any favors or give you any bargains on that whatsoever. So probably going to end up off the game when it's all said and done here, Baltimore and Boston. I would just lean slightly to that Red Sox over their team total. Conor, what do you think here, Orioles, Red Sox?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be off too. I can't take Pivetta at this price. We talked about Watkins too, his last 3 starts. He finally's come back down to earth. But I'm a little shocked. It's at Fenway. I see this first 5 as 6.5, minus 115. I mean, it is Fenway. We're not in Coors Field. I think it might be a little high. I just need one guy to pitch well, and most likely Pivetta. And I think he can stay under. The wind's not blowing out 15 miles per hour, or anything crazy for a 6.5. So I lean the first 5 under 6.5, and I'll probably will bet it. Seems like everyone's on the over here.
All right, we have Cleveland and Detroit next up. Zach Plesac and Tyler Alexander, a pitching matchup here. Cleveland minus 115, road favorites, 9.5 the total in this one. Just from a pure price standpoint, Conor, I could only back Detroit here as a slight home underdog. I mean, I can't lay a price with Cleveland on the road. Cleveland, I like them as a home dog in that one spot, first 5 innings with Cal Quantrill. Cal Quantrill is probably the one guy I'd be willing to back right now. In this Cleveland pitching staff. I don't want Eli Morgan. I don't want some of these bad pitchers that they've had lately. And I can't say I'm crazy about backing Zach Plesac right now. He hasn't been quite as sharp in recent starts here for this Cleveland team. So that's been an issue. He had a 2.28 ERA last year, and he's supposed to be one of their better pitchers this year. But he had an injury in late May, came back early July. He was pitching well before the injury. But returning from that injury, he's made 6 starts. How about a 6.15 ERA for Zach Plesac in 6 outings since returning from the injured list in late July. So it has been a tough, or actually not, early July is when he returned. It has been a rough 6 starts for him since he's been back. And now he's got to face a Detroit team that is mashing right now. You see this Tigers lineup. John Means had a couple of really good starts, before yesterday, and the Tigers just mashed him in that game yesterday with the 6-4 win over the Orioles. They're feeling it, this Detroit team. They've got confidence. They want to win games. For a team that's out of the playoffs, you don't always get this, CMAC, middle of August, a team that's out of the playoffs that actually cares about winning, actually cares about putting a good product on the field, wanting to win games, wanting to build something for next season. That's what Detroit's doing right now. Give me Tigers here. First 5 full game split. I mean, I know Alexander can be hit or miss, but I could say the same damn thing about Cleveland hitting lefty pitching. So give me Detroit here. First 5 full game split. Conor, what do you think here?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Solat Media, our guy. We appreciate it. $10 dono. Ian with the rant. Let's effing go. We appreciate it. Thanks for the donos, guys. All of them, eat the thumbs up, everything. We appreciate all of it. Yeah, I can't back Plesac. He just got ripped by these Tigers, on August 8th. He gave up 4 runs, 4 innings, and he has not been good, like you talked about, in a long time. He hasn't pitched a solid game where he's gone over 5 and given up none or 1 run, since like May 7th. So I think the Tigers are a good look. Their team total's about the same price, over 4.5. They don't got to win the game. Just get 5 runs. That's plus 105. And I think the over 9. Now there's a lot of 9.5s at even money. I think an over here is maybe in. The Tigers might give up runs. That's why I kind of like their team total than taking them full game. Reyes is 3 for 8 with a homer. Or Reyes is 3 for 4 with a homer. And Ramirez is 3 for 8 with a homer off Alexander, and he could give up a few. So I like the team total and this full game over as well.
Yeah, and of course, as we know, Miguel Cabrera going after number 500 home run wise in his terrific career. Could he get it tonight? That's the question. He might be worth a jack of the day every game till he gets it, because you know he's going to be chomping at the bit every time he's up at the plate to go deep and get a home run. And you look at Plesac, the home run ball has killed him lately. You know, he really has been hurt by the long ball. So something to keep in mind here in this Cleveland and Detroit game tonight. You look at the numbers here, and you don't see Cabrera with a home run yet against Plesac, and he has been held down by Plesac 2 for 11. But this might be one of those rare instances where I go against the flow a little bit. And even though has been shut down by Plesac, that you still go with maybe Cabrera as a home run prop, because you know you're going to get max focus, max intensity every single time at the plate now from Miggy until he gets this 500th home run of his. So definitely something to keep in mind. I appreciate everybody in the chat liking the rant. I save the rants for when it's worth something to bitch about. Like if I just come on here with a rant every single day just to hear my own voice, it loses its luster. You know, it loses its shine. Like I try to save it for not every single day. Maybe you'll get a rant once a week or once every couple weeks or once or twice a month. That's it. It's got to be something worth ranting about, or else, you know, it's not as good of a rant. So we got to just get a good topic, get a good pitcher or player or coach or team or whatever to rant about. And sometimes we can turn it into a good rant. So it sounds like that one was enjoyed. So appreciate that. Dodgers and Mets. We've got Julio Urias, Tyler McGill, the pitching matchup here. Dodgers minus 155. Road favorites in this game. The total 8, shaded to the over pretty much across the board here. Look, the Mets, this is the problem with the Mets right now. So they've just been in a bad way, although they've figured their way out of it a little bit. It stopped the bleeding, if you will, sweeping Washington this week in 3 straight games. So that was good to see if you're a Mets fan. But here's the problem with that bad stretch of baseball they had before sweeping Washington earlier this week. Here's the problem with the bad run they went on. The schedule is going to be a murderer's row for the rest of the season for the Mets in trying to win this division and get in the playoffs. They got to play the Dodgers a bunch of times in Chavez Ravine. They got to go to L.A. later this year, too, to play the Dodgers. They got to play the Giants. They're going to have to play the Yankees, I think, another series. They've got some Braves. I think they've got some really tough series ahead, this New York Mets team. And the easiest part of their schedule is behind them. So they are now going to have to keep playing good baseball, and now they're going to have to do it against arguably the toughest part of their schedule coming up. Starting here with a home series against the L.A. Dodgers. A Dodgers team coming off a loss yesterday, which snapped a 4-game win streak for them. They fell 2-1 in the finale against the Phillies. Now they'll turn to Julio Urias, the lefty, who has been terrific in his last 3 starts. 1.72. He has given up just his last 4 starts, he's given up just 5 runs over 22 innings over his last 4 starts. So he's been very good. You look at the Mets as a team, only averaging 3 runs per game against lefties. So we'll see how they fare here against Urias. He's faced the Mets once before, but it was a very long time ago, early in his career. So don't want to put too much stock into that. Tyler McGill is the bloom off the rose of this guy. You have to wonder. Last 2 starts, 9 runs, 11 hits, 9.2 innings, both of against Miami and against Philadelphia. That's trouble. I worry about that now. You got a righty that struggled his last 2 starts against not a lineup like the Dodgers, struggled against Miami and Philadelphia, and now he's got to face this Dodgers lineup. I worry about that significantly tonight for Tyler McGill in this one. Look, I would only go Dodgers first 5 here, -0.5 run. I think that would be the way I would play it if I had to. I don't love the game, but I'll lean -0.5, -115 in the first 5 with the Dodgers. Urias in good form, and McGill's kind of went backward here the last couple starts against much weaker lineups than the one he will be facing tonight. And look, Mets swept Washington, good for them, but Washington's been, skidding for a while. Let's see if they can step up against the Dodgers here, because I still have my doubts. Dodgers first 5 would be the lean here. What do you think here, Conor Mac, Dodgers and Mets?
Yeah, I love this one. It's all McGill here. You know, he's gotten hit the last few out, like you talked about, to the Marlins and the Phillies. The one thing I guess is, Dodgers haven't seen him. He hasn't faced the Dodgers, but I wouldn't want to face this lineup. Even Mookie Betts out of there. Um, so yeah, I'd be on the Dodgers first five as well. You can get it right around minus 120, 115. Initially, I like the under, but at 8, I don't know. I talked about a lot. Citi Field. I take the unders have been crazy there all year long. Mets home games, kind of like we talk about Braves home games go over, Mets home games go under. But at 8, I don't know here. So I'm with you. I'm on the Dodgers. Urias has pitched pretty well. The Mets haven't hit lefties well all year, and it's a decent price. I just don't trust the Mets sticks here.
All right, next up we have the Cubs and the Marlins. Adbert Alzolay for the Cubs, Jesus Luzardo for the Miami Marlins. Miami minus 115, home favorites here. The total is 7.5, shaded to the under in this game. To be honest with you, I'm not going to talk too much about it. This is one of the games I just wanted no part of the moment I saw the line. I'm not backing the Cubs. Okay, I've said that for weeks now. I am not backing the Cubs. I don't want the Cubs. Cubs are just a shell of what they were. They're losing games. They're out of it. I said they'd be a bet against team after the deadline when they got rid of everybody. That's exactly what's happened. But at the same time, I'm not laying a price with Luzardo. He's too erratic. He just is. And the Marlins now is chalk. I'm not Miami. If I had to bet something, it would be Miami, but I don't have to. I just don't like the price, and there's better games. So it's a pass. Conor, what do you think here?
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this game either. But you're telling me Luzardo is on the mound, Alzolay, and we got a 7.5 total. I know unders are big, and I'm big on them with the Marlins, but with these two pitchers, there's no way. The first 5 is 3.5, minus 120. I know there's not a lot of guys, the name, in both of these lineups that you could even name off anymore. But I just saw the Marlins score some runs in San Diego. I think the Cubs could get some too. Luzardo is not very good. He's bounced around. He's not a starter. I'd be shocked if he could even go 4 or 5 innings. So I don't take many of these, but I like the first 5 over 3.5, or you could go full game over 7.5. I think you get over this low total with pitchers. This number should not be this low with these two pitchers on the mound.
I wouldn't argue with that. I mean, it's down, and it opened 8. It's down to 7.5. So the under's actually been the one that's taken money here.
Yeah, I saw the money. Yeah,
not mine, not my money taking that under. That's for sure. So maybe onto something there, liking the first 5 over, and maybe a lean full game over as well with the Cubs and the Marlins. Oakland and Texas. We've got Cole Irvin, Dane Dunning, the pitching matchup here. Oakland minus 155, minus 160, road favorites, 8.5 the total here in this game. Oakland's just a freight train right now. They are really on point, really playing good ball, getting some good enough pitching. The offense in the lineup has certainly come back to life. They smashed Cleveland's pitching staff throughout that series this week, including yesterday. Just incredible damage to Eli Morgan. What was it, 17-0? It was like watching the former Oakland Raiders against the Cleveland Browns yesterday. Not baseball, but it was all Oakland. I'm not getting in. I'm not getting in Oakland Athletics. I'm not getting in their way here. They are on a mission. Of course, they're still trying to hang on to one of the 2 wild card spots. And look, Texas, against Seattle, there was some fight in them. They battled. All of that was decent performance for them in that series against the Seattle Mariners, a team that desperately needed the wins. They were right in every game, but I still don't want to back them here, or Dane Dunning, who's kind of been trending a little bit backward of late. So overall, when I look at this game, Oakland first 5 minus a half would be probably the way I would go. I'd probably have a bet on that. Not my favorite bet on the board, but I think you probably have to look Oakland or nothing right now. This team is definitely in a good groove right now, and got to like the way they're playing. Conor, what do you think here, Oakland and Texas?
Yeah, Cole Irvin, he just pitched against, the Rangers, 6 days ago, August 7th, 7 innings, 2 earned runs. He should do the same here. And Dunning, he's just okay at home. They can't score for him. He ends up losing most of his starts. His ERA is right around 4. I don't trust him. I just don't want the Rangers, this light hitting Rangers team. They can't hit lefties. So I'm with you. I think you could go A's first 5. They just scored 17 runs. So that always is in the back of my head. They come back and only score a couple. I'm probably not going to bet this game, but yeah, I lean the A's. Maybe their team total over 4.5. I think it's right around -120. I think you can look that way too.
All right. Good stuff there. All right. 170 live viewers. Hit the like button. We appreciate that very much. Hope you're enjoying the show. We move on. St. Louis and Kansas City. We've got Jack Flaherty for the St. Louis Cardinals, reinstated to this rotation for the Cardinals. He's been out since late May. It has been a while since we've seen Jack Flaherty. It looks like he is not going to face too many pitch count limitations tonight. He pitched 75 pitches in his rehab start, but they say he shouldn't face too many pitch limitations tonight. So we'll see how he fares in his return. He's pitching pretty good before he got hurt. 2.9 ERA, 8-1, the win-loss record. Mike Minor on the mound for Kansas City tonight, the lefty. Cardinals -135, road favorites, 8.5 the total. It's another pass for me, unfortunately, and that's going to be the nature of this baseball betting card daily, especially down the stretch here. There's going to be games where you just got to pass. I'd love to throw out an opinion or a lean or some kind of decent opinion on every single game. That's just not going to be possible this time of year. There's going to be a lot of spots where there's just nothing, and you just got to pass, and that's the case here for me. I don't know if Flaherty's going to be sharp with all this time off. He's certainly, I think, the better pitcher than Mike Minor. Could you trust the Cardinals first 5? Yeah, if I knew I was going to get Flaherty pre-injury, I'd go St. Louis probably first 5 innings here at the very least in this game. But I don't know about that with a guy that's been out for this long. But what I do know is I'd still favor him over Minor. So it'd be St. Louis or nothing for me. But I chose nothing. I don't love backing a starter who's been out for the amount of time that Jack Flaherty's been out. So for that reason, I'm off the game. Conor, what do you think here? Cardinals Royals.
Yeah, even though the injury wasn't to his arm, his pitching arm, these injuries I've been staying off when they come back. It seems pretty simple, right? Just the Cardinals are only -135 or take them a half run here. I mean, I lean that way. I definitely don't like Mike Minor. I've never been a big fan of his. Flaherty pitched okay, 3 innings and 4 innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned in his last start, AAA Tulsa. I just don't know if I could take him here. I kind of like the Cardinals team total over 4.5 a little bit better if I were to take it. I think it's -110. But you need these Cardinals to hit. They busted with me taking him a few times, and you think they can get 4 or 5 easily off Minor, but you never know. But that'd be my lean. Cardinals team total over 4.5 -115.
Yeah, I mean, I would only look cards, and I know a lot of people in our chat like St. Louis. I wouldn't talk you out of it. It's just I pump the brakes just a little when I see a guy out this long and making a return. But I understand why. I mean, certainly Flaherty's the more trustworthy arm when everybody's health, when everything is just normal. Yeah, definitely Flaherty's the better of these 2 pitchers. So if you're going by that, yeah, there is definitely a case to be made for St. Louis. Tampa Bay and Minnesota, Shane McClanahan, the lefty, Michael Pineda for Minnesota. We've got the Rays here -160, road favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. The Twins continue to be pretty, competitive, pretty feisty, 6-4 in their last 10 games. We know they took 3 of 4 from Houston last weekend. They battled the White Sox pretty tough in the last few games of that series. Now they're going to see if they can test their mettle against another really good baseball team in the American League. They hung in there with the Astros. They hung in there with the White Sox. Let's see what they can do here tonight with the Tampa Bay Rays, who are coming off winning a series against the Boston Red Sox, taking 2 of 3 at Fenway, extending their lead for first place in the AL East, which I think they're going to win that division now. It just seems inevitable that the Rays are going to be AL East champs. McClanahan, who, he's had some ups, he's had some downs, but a little bit better of late. I would certainly lean Rays here, first 5, -0.5 a run, because Pineda against this team, I'm not so sure I'm fully ready to trust him here against a Rays team that, look, to be all honest, they've hit pretty well as of late. They crushed the Red Sox in terms of the Red Sox pitching in a couple of those games earlier this week. We'll see if that can carry over here to this game against the Twins. I would lean Rays first 5. Again, don't love it, but Rays first 5 would be the way I would go here. Connor Mack, what do you think here with the Rays and the Twins?
Yeah, I like McClanahan. I think he's been solid all year, but they start to get these prices. The Rays are playing so well, minus 170 on the road this late in the year. There's other games to bet. I'm just going to stay off. And I don't really love the dog in Pineda. He's pitched better his last few starts. He's gone about 4 6. He's given up 2 runs in those starts. So I looked at the first 5 under 5 here. I think I know what I'm going to get out of McClanahan. I just need Pineda to do his job. But the Rays have been hitting the ball lately, so maybe this is an over for people. But I'm looking at the under. I haven't bet it yet because I'm McClanahan gets it done. I just Pineda, he scares the shit of me. Kind of like Barrios last night. He got me. But I lean under here.
Yeah, exactly. Barrios in great form until last night when he got hit around a little bit by that LA Angels team. That's sometimes the way it goes. It's just all about timing, just not quite right to back somebody. Yeah, and unfortunately that was that night and that start for Barrios last night with the Blue Jays. All right, we got the 7th inning stretch now, that time of the show, because we're down to our West Coast games. We've got 4 left to discuss, all of them on the West Coast, and we'll shout out everybody in the chat. 164 live viewers. Hit the like button. Ross Pitts, Cheshire Cat, Michael Robertson, Steve's Book, Solat Media. We love you, Ian. Oh, my gosh. Very nice. Very kind. Appreciate that, Solat Media. You're here every day, and appreciate that. Turnsy, of course. One of our favorites, Sean Thompson, Kenny Woo Woo Woo, Real Deal Prime, Crystal Warren, another one of our favorites, Danzo. We welcome in everybody, The Reaper, Jimmy Gomez, Abel Alvarez, Ix Nizzle 420. Great stuff. Keep on rolling down the Sean Thompson, Joshua Keo Kanalaya. We appreciate you guys joining us. LJ from H-Town. Great stuff from all of you guys. Melvin Betances, Benjamin Mills, Brian Watson, who's a big CFL guy, Andrew Sealer, Johnny K. Go on down the list here. Let me see. I think if we got everybody here. There's Razor Sharp Picks. Sean Thompson. There we go. I think we got everybody that's Jedi for Life. Excellent. We appreciate that. And I think Jedi for Life with the Dono earlier in the show, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So thank you to everybody. Leroy Flood, thank you to everybody for joining us here on the MLB Closing Time show on this Friday. Let's wrap it up with the 4 West Coast games as the Houston Astros take on the LA Angels. Zach Greinke. Greinke, don't lose that fastball. Patrick Sandoval for Houston, for the Angels. Houston minus 130. Road favorites, 9 the total in this game. Angels, of course, we just mentioned Barrios struggling against that aforementioned Angels team last night. Angels win, but Ohtani on the mound, that's usually their best chance to win when Shohei Ohtani's on the mound. So we'll see how it goes here with Sandoval, who's actually been pretty steady this year for the Angels, 3.39 ERA. You do get concerned a little bit, facing the Astros sometimes can do some damage against lefties. Greinke with a 3.69 ERA. He's had the odd bad start, but a guy with that kind of crazy delivery now where he's got to just be, take a lot off the pitches, even throw the eephus pitch every now and then. He's just got to do it with complete and utter deception, and yet he can still find his way. He just knows how to pitch, Greinke. And for him with his stuff to be at a 3.69 ERA, you definitely got to give him some credit for that because he's not got the most overpowering pitching arsenal anymore, not at this stage of his career. But this is a game I don't really have a strong opinion on, strong feel on it, priced about right. Don't really want to lay minus 130 with the Astros on the road, but probably would if I had to. It's just a lean Astros. I'm probably going to end up not involved in this one. What do you think here, Connor Mack, about this game, Astros and Angels?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Greinke's been really good on the road. Sandoval's pitched a lot better lately, home and away. He's been solid. The one thing I talked about it last night. I like the Angels' first 5. I didn't bet it, but with Ohtani, I think they have a little value here tonight. I just can't get there. I know Walsh came back. That lineup, I know they got runs, but I think that was kind of a fluke. But they do have pretty good numbers off Greinke. Greinke's been unreal on the road, like we talked about all year long. But there's some guys that have hit him. Well, Upton 14 for 48 with 4 homers, and a ton of guys. Ohtani 3 for 10, 3 for 9, down through the lineup. So I think there could be runs here, maybe an over or team total with the Astros. Those are just leans. I haven't betted at all.
All right, just leans there for the over potentially with the Astros and the Angels, and possibly the over as well.
Yeah.
We'll see how this one goes tonight between these two. The Astros are just one of those teams right now where they're treading water a little bit. Like, you know, they lose a series at home to Minnesota. They've not been exactly on top of their game as of late. We'll see if they can get the job done here tonight. We have San Diego and Arizona next up. Blake Snell and Madison Bumgarner, lefties, battling on the mound in this one. Padres minus 180 road favorites, 8.5 the total in this one. And the Padres, what a rough night for them. They got absolutely crushed by, of all teams, to lay that kind of whipping on San Diego, the Arizona Diamondbacks, 12-3 last night. Just a dreadful start for you, Darvish. Very happy, though, I was to see that. The best bet for me yesterday was Padres Diamondbacks over 9. It had ended up with ease cashing in last night. Just a rough outing for Darvish, not exactly living up to the bill of goods that the Padres paid for his services, and not a good start for him there. And now they have to go with Blake Snell, who has had his worst games of the year on the road. 4.86 ERA overall, but on the road is in particular where Blake Snell has been ineffective most of the season. 7.36 ERA for him away from Petco Park. You look at his recent road starts. He had one pretty good road start against Oakland, August 3rd. It was much better. Give him that. In fact, the last two starts, 1 run in 12 innings. So it leaves you thinking, as he turned it around. But every road start prior to that one pretty much was not exactly one of quality for Blake Snell, and that remains the concern you have for him. Madison Bumgarner for Arizona, who has pitched better in his last start against this San Diego team, pitched really well. 2 runs, 6 hits, 7 innings. But keep this in mind, you're now facing the same team for a second straight start if you're Madison Bumgarner. And you can say the same thing about Blake Snell against this Arizona lineup. You know, both of these pitchers pitched a gem against the opposing lineup just 5 days ago on August the 8th when these same two pitchers went head to head. But I often think the second time around for that pitcher against the lineup, facing them again in less than a week, that's usually when the lineups make their adjustments, have a better approach, and do some damage here. So I'm looking at 8.5 over the total in this game, San Diego and Arizona. It's 8.5 minus 120. There is some whispers that we're closing in on a Fernando Tatis return for the Padres, potentially a lot earlier than normal. I don't necessarily know if that is going to be tonight. I don't think it'll be tonight, but apparently he is progressing with his injury a lot quicker and a lot, taking away a lot of time from his potential absence that he might have suffered otherwise. So we might be able to expect Fernando Tatis back sooner than expected. For me, it's the over, and I'd either take a shot with Zona or pass. I mean, I am just not going to, and I said it last night, I don't want to lay that with Darvish, and thank goodness I didn't. I am just not in the business right now of laying these kind of numbers, minus 200, close to it, or more than that, on the road in particular, with a very, very erratic, inconsistent Padres team that is 1 game below 500 now, 26-27 on the road this season. I can't lay this price with a team like that. So for me, it's the over, and I would lean ever so slightly Arizona or pass for me if I were to bet the side. It looks like Conor's back. Conor, what do you think, San Diego, Arizona?
Yeah, I can't take Snell and the Padres. These big prices on the road. Can't do it. I had the D-backs last night, first 5. They cashed their team total. It worked. I think their team total at 3.5 solid tonight. Snell has pitched better. One of those on the road at Oakland, and then Arizona just a few days ago. It was a quick game, man. That game barely went 2.5 hours. But yeah, I'd be on the D-backs and the over 8.5. I was on to look up the numbers. Will Myers is, a bunch of these guys have tons of home runs. I think we mentioned it last time. Bumgarner faced him. Machado 6 for 33 homers. Myers has 5 homers, and Frazier 4 for 8. Cronin were 3 for 4. Garantini 3 for 5. So I think we see runs galore here. I'm definitely on the over 8.5.
All right, runs galore, liking the over as well. All right, Colorado and San Francisco. Austin Gomber, the lefty for the Rockies. Anthony DiSclafani for the San Francisco Giants. We've got San Francisco minus 225 home favorites here in Oracle Park. 7.5, 8 the total, depending on where you look and which book you're using. Austin Gomber, off a great start his last time out, shut out the Marlins in 6 innings. In fact, he's pitched well at home. It's actually on the road where he's had some much rougher times of it. His road ERA is 5.4 this year. His last start came against on the road, came against the Padres. He got blasted in the first inning. 4 runs, 4 hits, lasted just 1 inning in that game. Faced the Giants twice earlier this year, both in April. They gave up 2 runs in 6.1 innings the first start, and then the second one was just a disaster for Gomber. 9 runs, 7 hits, 1.2 innings. So which Gomber is it going to be? The guy that shut down the Giants or the guy that got lit up by the Giants later in the month of April? So, yeah, 2 starts for him against this team. One was great, one was awful. So which one is it going to be for Gomber tonight? We know the Giants' offense, last 10 games against lefties, 218, 4.35 runs per game. So the production hasn't been quite as good lately against lefties. So does that give Gomber a chance to have a good outing? We'll have to wait and see. DiSclafani on the other side for the Giants. Look, he's one of those guys I'm a little bit worried about right now. Hasn't been as sharp since the All-Star break. Last 4 starts, 3 runs allowed to the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Then faced the Dodgers again, gave up 4 runs, 6 hits, 2.2 innings, and then faced Arizona, not exactly a potent team or a good team. 5 runs, 7 hits, 4.1 innings, and 2 homers allowed by DiSclafani in that game, which was 11-8 in favor of San Francisco. Gomber's road numbers are weak. He cut 1 start against the Giants was bad, but the other one was really good. I still think the Giants, with the way they're in form at the plate right now, offensively, they're definitely in good form. You look at what they're putting up: 7, 8, 5, 9 in their last 5 games. They have found ways to score runs in bunches. I think they can do that here, but I also think Colorado could knock a few off DiSclafani. So it's another one of those games, late night West Coast game, reasonable total in that 7.5 range. I would lean a little bit over the total here, 7.5 tonight with Gomber and DiSclafani. It's 7.5 in some spots, 8 in others. So make sure you shop around when it comes to this total. Conor, what do you like here? Rockies Giants.
Yeah, 7.5 last night. It was 4th inning, 7-0, nothing the rest of the way. So if you had an under on the 7.5,
brutal. You had the full game under there.
Yeah, the over. You mean? Yeah, the under. You got it.
Yeah, the over.
No more runs.
Yeah, the over.
The over. Yeah, no runs. It was pretty bad. Gomber, he talked about he's been really good, but on the road that's been his trouble. And I can't. Last time DiSclafani pitched in Arizona, he did not look right. That's when he came out of the game. He got hit hard. Something's wrong with his arm. So I love the Giants. If I were to back the Giants, I'd go with their team total. I'd stick to that. I've been sticking with them the last 3 or 4 games, over 4.5, minus 115. Gomber could pitch well. The Rockies on the road. Just like yesterday, they can't get any hits. They can't score any runs. It's just like they go back home, score a bunch of runs, they kick ass, and then they come back and can't do it. But at 7.5, wind blowing out, I'd still lean over. And I think it could get over tonight, but should be a good one. If the Rockies were playing a little bit better and hitting a little bit more, I could take a shot on them first 5, but I just can't pull the trigger.
So lean to the over. I think it sounds like Conor's liking that Giants team total over 4.5 a little bit more. And look, if you bet that last night instead of the full game over 7.5, you cashed because the Giants got all 7 runs last night. In that 7-0 game. Not a good night for Marquez, but we mentioned yesterday, right? For as good as Marquez has pitched this year, the Giants have had his number, and it happened again last night facing them. All right, we're now at the final game of this Friday card. Toronto Blue Jays, Seattle Mariners. We've got Robbie Ray and Chris Flexen for the Mariners. We've got Toronto minus 160 road favorites. 8.5 the total in this game. Blue Jays obviously dropping the final game of their series to the Angels last night, but now they'll turn to Robbie Ray for the Blue Jays. 1.5 ERA for him in his last 3 starts. 2.98 ERA for Robbie Ray on the road this year. He's been really, really strong. Bounce back, resurgent year, whatever you want to call it for the Blue Jays, but he has delivered the goods for this pitching staff. We'll see if he can keep it rolling here tonight. Seattle taking 2 of 3 from Texas at home. But boy, life and death to win 2 of those games. 2-1, 3-1. Had to come back from a deficit to win those games. So it's not like this Mariners lineup is swinging the bat in good form right now. And you know what's concerning about the Mariners right now is the fact that they are K-ing at a pretty worrisome clip, as of late. And, who's a strikeout guy right now? It's Robbie Ray. That could be a little bit of a tough situation here going into this game for the Seattle Mariners. Might be a little bit of a tough matchup against Ray. On the flip side, you have Chris Flexen, who, for the most part this year, has been pretty good, steady for the Mariners. But even better at home, 2.67 ERA at home for Flexen, 8-4 in his home starts. How will he fare against the Blue Jays? He faced them in June in Dunedin. Didn't fare quite as well there. 3 runs, 7 hits, 5 innings. Blue Jays won that game 9-3. We'll have to see who's in the lineup, by the way, for the Jays. There's starting to be some injury concerns with their lineup a little bit. A team already without Biggio for the last a little bit. Got a couple of their relievers on the injured list. And more importantly, Bo Bichette, questionable with a shin injury, and Corey Dickerson, who they just got back from injury, the last week or two. He's back on the injured list. So keep an eye on that Blue Jays lineup. I do lean to the Blue Jays in this game, probably more in the first 5, but I'm going to hold off, see what that lineup is like before first pitch. I do like the spot, though, for them after losing last night, kind of a bounce back spot. I don't think Seattle's going to hang in this wild card race much longer. I mean, they're barely beating horrendous teams like Texas at home, barely beating them. And now they got to face this Blue Jays team off a loss. So I like the spot. Ray's been good. Ray's been a go-with pitcher most of the year. So Blue Jays first 5 -0.5 a run. It's definitely something I'm looking to bet, but I'm going to wait till I see what this lineup shakes out like, because there could be some key bats missing for Toronto based on this injury report. Conor, what do you think here? Jays, Mariners.
Yeah, always the West Coast games, wait for the lineups to come out. They should be out in a couple hours for sure. I can't take the Jays here. I know they lost last night. I just can't take Ray on the road here, -160. I got to go with Flexen. He had the one bad start against the Astros, but he's pitched a little bit better on the road. He gave up a few there late to the Yankees, but not at this price. I know the Mariners haven't hit a lick, and they screwed me the other day, but I'd go with first 5. You could do that. It's actually +155. Full game is +150. I don't know how which way I want to split it or play this one, but I'm on the Mariners. I don't want the Blue Jays today. Some guys have good numbers off Ray as well. Not Seager, he's 0 for 11, but 5 for 10. France, Haniger 3 for 4, Murphy 2 for 5, and France has a couple jacks. So there's some guys that have hit him. So give me the Mariners here.
All right, liking Seattle here in this one as a home underdog against the Blue Jays. Bichette and Dickerson, the main 2 on the injury report, Turnsey, for the Blue Jays. I mean, we're not talking Vladdy or Springer, so they're still going to have 2 of their best right there, and Simeon's fine, but still Bichette and Dickerson have been pretty good lately for them. So that's Vladdy's the only concern I have. Yeah, Vladdy lately has
been a little skid.
Vladdy, yeah. He has hit a little skid. He'll be fine. But hey, every great hitter, even doesn't matter what kind of season you're having, if you could be having a great season, you're going to go through a slump at some point. There's no question. It's hard to get away from it. There's always that instance where you're going to go through a little bit of a slump at the plate. You're just not seeing the ball as well. Your at-bat, quality goes down and suffers a little bit. And unfortunately for Vladdy, he's in that kind of state right now. But I'm sure he'll work out of it And certainly you got to give him that time to do that with the kind of season he's had, no question. Great stuff with Conor Mack. That is the Friday MLB card. 140 live viewers. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We greatly appreciate it. We will get to our best bets. We'll get to Jack of the Day in just a second. But first, messages from our sponsors, Southtown 101 and Manscaped. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, and karaoke as well at Southtown 101. Make sure you check them out when you are in San Antonio, Texas. We've got Manscaped, promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase with Manscaped using that promo code PubSports. So make sure you check them out. Lawnmower 4.0, also, of course, something that you can get from manscaped.com and get 20% off that purchase as well. So make sure you check them out. Manscaped.com, 20% off your purchase using the promo code PubSports, and mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. Of course, football season is here. CFL, NFL preseason are already ongoing. We're going to have college football in 2 weeks, and I'm happy to report we have hammered out our football season schedule here at Pub Sports Radio. We now know exactly what we'll be doing, and we have so many great things planned. We'll be announcing it next week, I'm sure. And we're also going to be doing a bunch of conference preview videos and focusing mostly on futures and season win totals and futures for college football and all the conferences, the Power Fives and the non-Power Five conferences. Conor and I will record a bunch of these videos. They'll be posted on the channel. We're going to record them and start posting them next week. I mean, it is going to, and we're going to get you ready for college football. Our favorite win totals, favorite, to win a division, to win a conference. I've bet a slew of these already. Like I bet these like a couple weeks ago. Like I've been ready for college football for like a month. So you're going to get some good info, my analysis, my opinions, Conor's as well. So we're looking forward to doing that, getting you ready for college football starting next week. Conference preview videos right here on Pub Sports Radio. But anyway, mybookie.ag. The bottom line is football season's here. Mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports, Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit as well. Mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. All right, we are at that point of the show. We're going to see if we can do to fatten our wallets tonight, and we'll start with Jack of the Day.
We'll see you later.
All right, Jack of the Day for this Friday slate. Let's see what we got here. I'm actually going to keep it to I haven't bet as many lately. Jack of the Days. It's I do like Cronenworth. I'm going to get in the Crone zone, as Don Orsillo says on the Padres broadcasts with Jake Cronenworth, who does have a home run, as 3 for 4 in his career against Madison Bumgarner. So Jake Cronenworth for the Padres there. How do you not take Will Myers? He's got 5 home runs against Bumgarner. That's pretty damn good. Something to look at there for Jack of the Day. What else have we got here? Yordan Alvarez has 2 homers against Sandoval for the Astros against Sandoval. You could go Justin Upton, 3 home runs against Zach Greinke. So that's not a bad way to go there as well. Goldschmidt's got 2 jacks off Mike Minor. I like that one a little bit. And there's one more that I was looking at in one of the earlier games. Let me see. I thought there was a Detroit guy there. Apparently there's not, though. No, that's Cedric Mullins, too, against Pavetta. You could look at that. That's about it. there we go. We'll stop there for Jack of the Day. But the ones I like the most, I like a couple of those Padres for sure against Bumgarner. And definitely a couple of like Will Myers too against Bumgarner, 5 home runs. That's definitely, I think, worth a look there. Connor Mack, what do you think for Jack of the Day?
Yeah, you mentioned Myers. He's plus 350. I think Moustakas is plus 380. Goldschmidt, yeah, 5 for 9, 2 homers, plus 400. And just 2 others, Correa, plus 450. And my guy, Ty France, he didn't get it done the other day. He's 5 for 10. He's plus 450. He hits a jack off Robbie Ray tonight.
All right, good stuff. All right, best bet now for this Friday MLB card. Man, best bets have been in a pretty good groove lately on the show, both of us. See if we can keep that train rolling tonight. Last night, though, you're right. I think you mentioned last night, the one that fell short was the best bet. But overall, I mean, I'm talking the last week to 10 days. Overall, they've been good. But yeah, last night frustrating. Barrios just didn't have it, and that costs the Angel J first 5 under last night. But Connor Mack, what do you got for us tonight, though? Best bet for Friday.
I'm gonna go Padres D-backs over 8.5. I like a couple overs tonight. In the late games. I think that gets there. These guys pitched well just 6 days ago, so I think we see runs, and if not, maybe a live over in this game would be good with the bullpens. Padres have been taxed a little bit, and we know the Arizona bullpen, so give me the over 8.5.
All right, over 8.5, San Diego, Arizona. Best bet for Connor Mack in this game. Mine is going to be, I'm going to do a split best bet. It's the same game, it's the same team. But I don't feel sometimes when I have a bet on both first 5 and full game, I'll give out the first 5 or I'll give out the full game as the best bet. With this best bet tonight, I'm going to say split the best bet in half because I really don't. I really like both of them equally, and that's Detroit against Cleveland. Detroit plus 105 is the full game price on the money line against Cleveland tonight. The first 5 is around plus 100 to minus 105 is what we're looking at with the first 5 innings. I'm going to split it up because the Detroit bullpen's been better lately, but they've used some of their key relievers the last 2 or 3 days in a row consecutively, and that does concern me slightly. But I like them to jump on Zach Plesac. He's been giving up the long ball. He has a 6.1 ERA since early July when he came back from the injury report. It just hasn't been the same. And look, in terms of current form, Cleveland is Cleveland right now. They're not playing good. They're blowing games left and right. Their bullpen's not good. They've blown some games. They blew a game to Oakland where they had a lead. That Cal Quantrill pitched good in that game. The one time they had a lead on Oakland, they blew it. The bullpen blew it, and they lost to Oakland. So that bullpen's no good. But I'm going to split it up here. Detroit first 5, Detroit full game against Cleveland. That'll be my best bet for this Friday MLB card. Boy, I've been on the Tigers a lot, and I've used them for best bet material already once this week, and probably a bunch over the last month. So they've been my team.
I like it.
They've been
I like taking them team total or the over in that game, especially if you get a 9. I know it's 9.5. The wind's blowing out. I think all 3 of those are good looks.
Yeah, absolutely. Tigers just competing every night. And that's what they're doing, and it's been getting them a lot of wins right now. Hopefully it gets them another tonight. That'll wrap up the show. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us. Over 170 live viewers. We appreciate each and every one of you. We will be back tomorrow, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Sharpie will be along for the ride as well, our weekend guest to join us tomorrow to break down the Saturday MLB card. So join us tomorrow morning for another MLB closing time show. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll see you again tomorrow on Saturday for another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio.